Today's video is about gender discrimination. Gender discrimination is defined as a perceived imbalance between males and females, hence leading to unfair treatment of subordinate gender. The problem of gender discrimination is not only limited to a particular part of the world, rather it is a peril which has existed in all the cultures and civilizations. Mostly only women folk of the mankind have turned out to be its lamentable victims. Struggle for gender equality is dating back to 17th century when few female sociologists started voicing against discrimination on women. Since then, major improvements have been made on gender equality, yet a lot of work needs to be done to achieve a balance between the two genders. It is said to be that gender equality is the unfinished business of the 21st century. Further down this video, you will learn about gender discrimination and its contents will be multiple reasons of gender inequality, its impacts, few case studies, and most significant remedies. First of all, among the myriad of reasons, male domination bears the highest value. Since the inception of human life on earth, the difference between the reproductive organs of the two counterparts gradually led to the assumption that male has some form of dominance over the female. This categorization is mainly because of the difference between the reproductive duties of men and women. Therefore, it was understood as by the societies females are the inevitable slaves of the male class of society. It eventually led to the development of customs and traditions in the society. Well, now, customs and traditions hence immensified the dilemma of gender discrimination. The enrooted customs chalked out the different ways of living for the two genders. According to these, men are supposed to deal with matters outside the house, do a job, earn, and more likely to receive higher education. In turn, man becomes head of a house, society, country, and the world, enforcing the patriarchal system. On the contrary, women are supposed to raise children, do house chores, make food, and stay inside, and extremely less likely to receive higher education. On these conditions, girls are destined only for marriage and for being under the control of a provider, in worst cases, under the wrath and mercy of a tyrant. In consequence, customs and traditions have a strong grip over the rules and regulations enacted by governments. Ineffective execution of rules and laws further aggravates the grave problem of gender discrimination. For instance, in a country like Pakistan, which is rated as the second last on the Index of Gender Equality issued by the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women, CEDAW, in an occurrence of any crime against women such as rape, domestic violence, right to property, or crimes done through the rulings of panchayat or jirga, judicial system of Pakistan turns out as incapable to bring justice to the victims of heinous crimes, even though the Constitution of Pakistan aptly contains the articles on fundamental human rights as well as on rights of women. Thus, justice for financially weak women is a distant reality. Income disparity is a cause which weakens the backbone of a woman and strengthens the cranium of a man. Owing to the traditions, a woman do not earn, and even if they earn, they are comparatively paid less. According to figures, 64% a woman is paid less than a man. If a woman inherits some property that also is in the custody of her guardian man, let that be her father, brother, or husband. As a matter of fact, a woman becomes slave of a sovereign, thereupon not able to move around with her own. In today's technological world, media is another excruciating mode utilized for gender discrimination. Media, particularly the common broadcast television, avoids to show the documentaries or talk shows over discrimination against women. Not only this, in cases of gang rape or just rape, which occasionally occurs on media, the media accuses the girl rather than the actual culprit, justifying their arguments by saying that the girl should not have gone out, her dress was not appropriate, etc. The boy is young, could not control his temptations, etc. Whereas Islam supports strongly a girl's right to education, Islam also supports if a woman is willing to do a job, then she can. This is evident from the fact that mother of believers, Aisha radiallahu anhu, was a great scholar of Islam. In this circumstance, Islamic fundamentalisms are just using the religion for their personal profits. Islamic fundamentalism as a cause for gender discrimination is intertwined with the cultural norms. Islamic scholars denounce these fundamentalists and term their practices as un-Islamic. However, the Islamic fundamentalists claim the advocacy of women's rights as Western controversy and continue to do honor killing, in which a woman is killed because of having an illegitimate relationship with other men, or sawara or wani, in which a woman one or more are given to rival clans in order to settle blood feuds. There, in rival clans, girls are treated as servants and sex slaves. In some situations, girls are married to elderly men in exchange for money. Love marriages are seen controversial. All in all, a girl is never asked for consent in marriage and is treated barbarously later on. All these unspeakable crimes are done in the name of Islam. Surely, world has made improvements regarding gender equity, yet it is continuing to persist on. Men are scared. Their dominance will no longer be exercised over half of the population if women get their independence and start to prosper. Gender discrimination, like all other evils, have negative impacts on vital spheres of our lives. Imbalance in population will cause imbalance in society. Imbalance in society will induce disorder in society, and disorder catalyzes confusions, complications, and crimes. Due to the people's desire to have a son, more boys are born compared to girls. It is calculated that despite the measures to control it, there are 4.3 million more men than women in 2020. Recently, hundreds of baby girl fetuses were found in a gutter in India. Asia is famous for its gender inequality, where China also has high in gender inequality. According to a report, China will run out of brides in a period of 7 years, as claimed by some sources. Bride markets are functional and run as on high businesses in China. The intensity of situation is desperate. Men are ready to sell their wives for some sum of cash, said the Deputy Director of China Population Association, Tian Shuiyuan. Gender discrimination has an indirect impact on the education of a nation. If half of the population is not educated as a result of gender inequality, and that half population is responsible for the upbringing of the new generation, an illiterate mother can do more harm than benefit when it comes to the development of her children's psyche. It is wisely quoted by Justine Greening, UK Development Secretary, that no country can truly develop if half of its population is left behind. Hence, deficiency in education can inculcate deficiency in economy. It is manifested backwardness of women will have drastic impacts on economy. As stated earlier, denying rights of women and not incorporating them in their decision-making positions, or not letting them do a job, will push the economy in dwindling situations, sometimes where survival of nations is also put at stake. As women are perceived with discriminatory glances, so are the wages of a woman. Due to the discrimination, women are paid much less than men, even if being in the same positions. Indeed, women are less likely to be called for a job interview. In Pakistan, 95% of women are working without any official contract with their employers. Great deal of discussion have been done on gender discrimination. Now it's time to highlight and indulge into a small number of case studies of gender discrimination. Mukhtaran Mai is a gang rape survivor which was ordained by a jirga. She was raped by 4 men, and that scene was witnessed by 10 others over the alleged adultery of her 12-year-old brother. After being raped, she was paraded nude through the entire village in 2002. According to her traditions, she should have committed suicide rather than pursuing her life for justice and becoming Pakistan's most prominent rights activist. Her case aptly defines the conditions in which women are suffering the brutal crimes as a result of gender inequality. The coming up case of Khalid Shazia is another similar case to Mukhtar Mais. Dr. Khalid Shazia was raped by another army captain in January 2005. At that time, she was working for Pakistan Petroleum in Balochistan. Baloch leadership wanted justice for the rape victim. Nawab Akbar Bukti said, "As long as the perpetrators of this heinous crime are not dealt with, we will not find peace." As a result, Nawab Akbar Bukti was killed in August 2006 for strongly condemning and seeking justice for gender inequality. In the end, he himself became victim of gender discrimination. On the other hand, the rapist was provided with full support. Decisively doing a job is like an uncatchable dream for a woman surrounded with gender discrimination. Definitely, it is not limited to a job. Seeking education is another wish. Malala Yousafzai's quest for education of girls made her yet another victim of gender discrimination. Malala was shot by terrorists for raising her voice, for making an effort, for having a dream to have education for herself and for all the girls who were stopped from going to school under Taliban regime in Swat. In 2014, Malala was awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize at the young age of 17. She became the youngest recipient of Nobel Peace Prize. And as they say, the rest is history. Ergo, a woman have all the capabilities to work along with men to make decisions at an international and national levels. She is capable running an entire army to lead her nation to the shores of peace and prosperity. And all that is possible only if strong workable measures are taken to cut the chains of gender discrimination, to let women fly with their wings. Enactment of laws and policies will pave the way for hampering the menaces of gender inequality. The CEDAW of United Nations contains all the relevant and rational articles on how to curb the gender discrimination. However, signing the convention in 1996, Pakistan has still not implemented the articles. In order for improvement to be made, Pakistan should implement the articles immediately and report the convention timely to raise its worldwide ranking and erase the undergoing of women in Pakistan, especially Articles 14 and 16, which state take care of the problems faced by rural women and marrying a woman to a person of her choice, respectively. As rural women do not have awareness how to deal with such problems, henceforth the need for education for girls is another important tool in this regard. Education is another factor that will allow women to gain their grounds. Right to education comes under the basic human rights. For women, it is also mentioned in Article 10 of CEDAW. Setting up gender-sensitive schools is a crucial step in making a nice environment for learning and teaching. Helping females feel more confident studying, improving a gender-sensitive curriculum which reflects national policy on gender equality is instruct is also necessary. To reduce the impacts of Islamic fundamentalism, the true spirits of a woman's status under Sharia law should be made more common, as any kind of discrimination based on gender is severe offense and is considered against the teachings of Quran and Hadith. Whereas Islam teaches the lesson of equal rights for men and women. Women should be encouraged and allowed to have economic independence. Women who have money of their own gain the potency over their lives. Nonetheless, an earning woman will be sharing the burden of a man to run the family, thereupon reducing stress and leading to a healthy relationships and lives. Without the support of male counterparts, gender equality might be a distant reality. A man should be willing to help her wife to have her rights and to share the responsibilities equally. Article 3 of CEDAW states, "A father should also contribute in upbringing the kids, as it is not only a mother's job." Emma Watson, the actress and UN Women Goodwill ambassador has captured this in a best way. We want to end gender inequality, and to do that, we need everyone to be involved. In conclusion, the challenge of gender discrimination needs instant attention, as countless people are experiencing it every day. Despite immense improvements, there are multiple causes of gender inequality which are difficult to eradicate and continue to jeopardize predominant realms of our lives. Collectively, gender parity is not just good for women, it's good for societies. As there are numerous arenas where gender inequality is having impacts on in our daily lives, such as in workplaces, houses, communities, and societies. Hopefully, with the given solutions in sight, one day gender discrimination will become the talk of the past, at least for the sake of progress and prosperity. Because the Nobel Committee stated that we cannot reach democracy and peace unless we would not give equal rights to women. Optimistically, the efforts to banish gender discrimination from the surface of earth will eventually show the light of sunrise. On that emerging new day, people will be able to live in fairness, no matter what gender they are. Thank you very much.